Welcome to another edition of Dianne Andrews in Black and White, an open discussion about the issues you don't want to talk about and the arts you need to know. Now, here's your host, Dianne Andrews.
Thank you very much, audience. Thank you very much, TV Land, and thank you, YouTube, for the great reception. We're continuing to grow and continuing to expand. I've been doing this about going on 5 months now, and we're going into almost 4 million homes, and we're maybe about to get New Orleans. Keep your fingers crossed for that. I would like to talk about colorism today, which is a problem in more than just America. And in doing that, I have 4 guests with me today, including psychiatrist Dr. David Greeson, who has been on our show before. I have the attitude shifter, Donna Butler, who has an internet talk show by the name of Attitude Shift. I have our blonde with me today. Her name is Sharon. She is the owner of Geaux Health and Fitness. And I have Donna's husband, who is representing the dark shade of color for us today and what his perceptions were growing up. His name is Mr. Ivy Butler. And we thank everyone for being here with us today. I did a Walking While Black show a couple of weeks ago, and in that show, Silky Slim, one of my guests, talked about the issue of colorism with Rosa Parks, that there had been an incident on a bus 9 months earlier of a dark-skinned black woman who refused to take a seat at the back of the bus. But they chose to use Rosa Parks. Now, I have not investigated this, but he was saying it was about the shade of her skin color. Rosa Parks was a lighter-skinned black woman. Now, colorism was really the phrase was coined in the media. Someone even say Alice Walker coined it by black people in the 60s and 70s. So let's talk about what colorism means to us. In doing these series, I'm going to talk about colorism, the caste system, and talk about racism. They're all very different, but they all work and coincide together. Colorism is usually thought of as people of who have pigmentation, which means people of color, who are prejudiced against other people of color because they may be lighter skinned than them. The caste system is alive and well in the rest of the world besides America. In India, the caste system is very big. And what that means is if you're poor, born poor, you will probably die poor. If you're born rich, you will probably die rich. America is said to not be that way. It's the land of the free and the home of the brave, right, as what we're said. Now, in racism, of course, colorism and the caste system all enter into racism, but racism is usually based on an ancestry and what your ancestors are from. I may look white but still be black. I may look Spanish but be black. I may look white and be Spanish. So with racism, it's a little more difficult to tell, but it's a lot of hidden agendas that deal with racism also. I'm going to start with our blonde. Let's start with you, Sharon, today. Tell me what it's like to be a blonde. I know you're from Houston, Texas, and now you live in Louisiana, your first time here in Louisiana, and I know you date a black man. Let's talk about how that works for you, and are blondes, do they have more fun, or are they thought to be idiots? Which one is it, Sharon?
In my opinion, and with my experiences, because I've been a businesswoman my whole life, I've owned several magazines. Mm-hmm. I own a skincare line, mm-hmm. a men's skincare line, mm-hmm. published a living real estate magazine in Houston, mm-hmm. Co-published Health and Fitness in Houston, mm-hmm. Sports magazine, worked with the symphony and the opera. So I was dealing with all types of people.
Right.
And as you know, Houston is extremely international.
I've lived in Houston before.
Yes,
I like
and
Houston.
It's very international.
Yes.
So to me, I got along with everyone. Now, as a blonde.
When you thought to come in, when you walked in, did they see you as a pretty woman or as a blonde woman who had to prove herself?
Actually, both. I call it charm and intelligence, and they did see me sometimes as wow, and then when they realized that I knew exactly what I was talking about and I was there to help them in business, mm-hmm. they understood where I was coming from.
Now, I had that same thing at IBM. When I would go in, I was a systems engineer, one of my positions at IBM, and I did process reengineering with customers all over. When I walked in, they said, oh, they've sent us their token NIGGA, right? But as you work with them, and I'd be with them about 4 weeks, and they would figure out, okay, they didn't send us an idiot here. In fact, one of the white vice presidents of Avis Rent-A-Car told me this. He was over the computer technology, he was MIS director. But in American terms, the blonde, the blue-eyed is considered to be the most beautiful woman in the world. In fact, I think we have a YouTube video we're going to show on people changing their eye color in this show.
Isn't that wild?
It is wild. That now you can go and change your color from, as T.I.'s wife did, you can go to South Africa, it's not done in America, and change your eye color from brown to blue, gray, or green. In fact, I think she changed hers to be a gray color. So when I was reading this, which I didn't know, a lot of people, most people are born with blue, and the brown or the shade over it, there's a covering over the eye because they're working on something with a laser, that all they do is laser the covering off the eye and the blue comes out for the eye. Now, you're a natural blonde, or do you want to say, but do blondes have more fun? Let's just answer that one.
I do some highlights, I do. I was born white-headed, and it turned brunette. And then after my only and first daughter, I decided to do lowlights, highlights. Do we have more fun? I have a lot of fun in life. I'm just a well-rounded, happy person.
But tell me about your relationship then. So it's not about being a blonde, it's about being you. Is the reason you're having fun. So tell me about your relationship with your black partner here in Baton Rouge.
We, when I first moved here, I've always been into sports, fitness, and the opera and the symphony. And I just told this friend, I said, I have got to meet someone that enjoys those things. I love golf, I love tennis, I love swimming, I love working out.
Tell me about the black-white issue of it. Is there a problem?
Not really. We sit down and we explain things to each other.
No,
we
no,
learn.
no. A problem with the outside world.
Actually, I had a gentleman come up to me the other day and he said, thank you for dating each other, being together. And it was a black man. He said, I really appreciate that. I have not had a problem with it. My family adores this man, my grandson.
And this is your first out of white relationship?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But his intelligence was...
What about his family?
Very kind, loving.
No
kind.
problem.
No, he came from Stanford in Europe, so I mean he's very well educated and
Are you
international.
his first white, his first interracial relationship?
No,
so
but it's my first.
Yes.
And at first it was a little nerve-wracking to me because so many people would stare. And some were
So people are staring at the two of you.
And they would stare. When they get to know us, we go to the Renaissance a lot for dinner because I love the waterfall there. And we'll have dinner. Everybody there knows us. And if I'm there alone, they're like, where is he? Where is he?
Yeah.
You know, they work a good team. Business-wise, sports-wise, companionship-wise.
Good. I'm going to have to move on over. Let's move over to Ivy. I remember, Mr. Butler, talking to you on the phone, and you said, growing up, you wanted to make sure you dated a lighter woman, a woman not of your complexion or darker skin complexion in the black race, because you wanted your children to come out. Lighter skin was one reason. And you did think about dating white women, and may have dated one, I think, but you knew it was taboo to marry a white woman back when you were growing up, you said. So tell us a little bit about that story.
During high school, it was always black women. When I look back, it was never a dark-skinned woman. And the thing is, what I looked at was the things that I was going through, how I was being perceived, and as a dark-skinned man. And as I've been thinking about it since our conversation, I was always on the outside.
By people of our own race, or by people of the other race?
Yes.
You were on the outside with people who were your same complexion?
I never fit in with my own people.
Is this your family too?
No, it wasn't my family. And so all through high school, junior high school, I went back, I was always on the outside. And
Did you play sports?
I attempted to. I was in the band.
You were a DJ.
I was in the band.
Yes,
I was in the band. And the thing is, when I look back, I look back at the type of women that I admired, and they were all colors. And I remember a dark-skinned, my color, her name was Patricia Clark. I thought she was beautiful. But as I aged and I grew up, I don't know how it switched, but I stayed where I was at. But when I got out of school and became a DJ, then all bets were off. It was whatever I decided I wanted to be. And I met this white woman, and I dated her. That was prior to my wife.
Right.
So what
you
happened?
You dated a dark-skinned black woman also from New York.
Prior to my wife
really
also.
liked.
Yes, her name was Brenda.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I started looking at how I was treated, and I thought, how will my children be treated? So I don't know. It wasn't a deliberate thing, but I didn't want my children to be treated the way I was treated.
You ever talk to your parents about this and what they thought about this?
No.
And what year was this we're talking about, Ivy?
I graduated in '82, high school in '82.
Okay, so you're talking in the early '80s.
Yes, yes.
And there was still a problem. Do you believe there was a problem in your high school or in your environment of lighter skin colorism, as it's been coined now?
The attitude of the lighter skinned women were different. The girls that they had a different attitude. So were lighter skinned women more prejudiced of darker, or were darker more prejudiced of lighter? I won't say it was prejudice, but there was a difference. It may have been my self-esteem. It could have been a self-esteem issue that I had that didn't attract me to those women. But when
you go back to your high school queens, were they black?
No,
they were white ladies.
They were white.
Okay, never a black lady as a high school queen.
No.
Okay.
Now,
okay, then let's talk to the lady you did decide to marry here. And she's lighter skinned than you. And you all have a beautiful daughter, one that I met today, who luckily, thank God, came out lighter than you even. No, she'll come out dark.
No telling where. No telling where she beat it
Yeah, really. I mean, wow. Do you think other black men of your age group think the same way you do?
I don't know.
Now, I will tell you, opposites, I think, attract. I've been married, and they were always darker than I am, more like your complexion. So I could, maybe that's some of this, too. Opposites attract, you know, light, dark, dark, light. But what about you, with your date? Since you have a talk show on the internet named Attitude Shift, and you are the attitude shifter, you and your partner who do the talk show, what do you think about his attitude with this?
Just like you said, I was born in Seattle.
Right.
A big melting pot. So truly did not see color.
Right.
When I came to Louisiana, I have relatives here. They already had me coined as, oh, you're going to get a lot of things because you're light. Oh, and you sound white too. So when I met him, he was the, really, he was the darkest man.
These are black people from
my family,
Baton Rouge area, who said you're going to get more because you're light.
Because you're light.
Okay.
And don't forget, you know, you speak well too.
Yeah, now I do get, I get that too. You speak well, you think you're white kind of thing sometimes, because you do speak well. But I remember once, my first husband was a physician, and I was out at the hospital waiting room for him. And there were two very dark-skinned black women that came up who happened to be overweight. And they sat there and looked at me and they said, who does this B, and you know what the rest of the letters are, think she is? And they said, we ought to beat her A. I tell you what, I wasn't standing there sitting there to see. I got out of that waiting room because they just looked at me and thought, you know, some people think you think you're better than you are because the way you carry yourself and how you may be dressed and how you may look. They're the ones with the problem.
Absolutely.
And I can see some now of dark-skinned and hating lighter-skinned maybe because they think because of what some people say, you may get more. But I haven't seen that myself. I haven't seen where I get more. If you work hard, you get more. You know, is what I've seen from IBM. When as I said, when I was at this study in New York with IBM doing the business process study, engineering, and this white guy told me, you know, we thought they'd send us their token. I told you, you know what? And it didn't matter what color black I was. And I said, well, how many? He said, I worked with some women that didn't know what they were doing. I said, how many black women? Oh, one black woman he had worked with that didn't know what she was doing. I said, well, let me tell you, IBM doesn't hire dummies, and IBM doesn't send people that don't know what they're doing. So, you know, in a way, when you do a good job, though, I guarantee you he got that disparaging of black people out of his mind. The key is not to let people win, is what I always say. And that is to do better and be better. And if you do that, people don't win. What do you think, Dr. Greeson, of what we're talking about now?
I think it's a fascinating issue. And it seems to be, I think the basis of it seems to be rooted in economics, at least cross-culturally it seems to. When you look at Asian cultures and Indian cultures, a lot of the time it seems to be based on how much time people spend in the sun. So if they spend more time in the sun, they were darker, and so that was associated with the socioeconomic class. And so It's a little different with African American culture, where that's somewhat associated with having some Caucasian interbreeding.
Right.
But
in fact, my daddy had blue eyes, and I will tell you, I do think blue eyes are the prettiest. I think every culture has something, because I often ask Mama, why didn't you pray for me to get the blue eyes? Now, I think that when you look at body types, black people have the best buttocks. I think Orientals have the best eye shape. I think that the hair is probably, this is my perception, that the hair is probably the prettiest in the Middle Eastern Indian. It's full of body, it's full of curl, it's beautiful. Asians, the other Asians, like Japanese, have beautiful hair, but it's straight. And a friend of mine is Asian. I mean, you take this hair and do this with it, it bounces right back. All you can do is it be straight. And we have hair, blacks, that tends, we have to use a comb, but a heat comb or a flat iron, but so do a lot of white friends of mine who have, curly hair. So, but I think God gave every race something that's beautiful that the other race wants. We'll be right back in just a moment to talk about that a little further.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm 27 and I'm from Brazil. I saw bright ocular browsing the internet. Not wrong with my original color, but I wanted the color most shiny and stood out. I'm manager of a bank. My family were worried just like everyone when it comes to surgery. I felt calm. The procedure wasn't painful. My vision returned to the normal in few hours. My full recovery took 3 weeks, but each person is different. I returned to my normal activities in 6 or 7 days. Initially, we were very concerned, but now they okay about it. I would recommend the procedure, yeah. I think it naturally complemented my skin and hair tone. I always used the contact lens, but the results of bright ocular so natural. I choose bright ocular because they have a great track record of successful procedures, unlike the new iris implant from Panama. I felt safe. It was perfect. No pain and a rapid recovery in my case. I love my current color, but it doesn't have the new limbo ring, which will look even more natural. The results are amazing. I highly recommend.
As you can see, people are very interested in this new procedure. T.I., the rapper and actor's wife, Tiny, just flew to South America to have her iris color changed. You can have implants. I'm not speaking of contacts. I am saying physically had her eye color changed. As we talked about before, this young man from Latin America ended up getting green eyes. Tiny got some gray eyes. We're also going to put up some pictures that show different celebrities, including our President of the United States. You can tell me if that picture, if that nose looks like the same nose on the opposite side. There has been, and I think this was in 1990, our favorite talk show host before me, Oprah Winfrey, has had something done, I would think, from the picture, the before and the after. And we're going to look at Sammy Sosa, the baseball player. He claims that this was from a procedure gone bad. And that's a dramatic change in color of his skin tone. Angelina Jolie, one of the most beautiful women in the world, but look at her before. Money can make you as beautiful as you want to be. And we continue on. Look at Beyonce. You can look at the nose now and then look at the nose in 2001. You know, when we look at these people, we say, boy, they're beautiful. And boy, they're looking good. But you don't realize what happened to them looking good. But these are just some. You can go to plastic surgery before and after. We don't even need to speak on Kim Kardashian, I don't think. But as I said, I think blue eyes are the prettiest. I think our buttocks are the prettiest for black people. I think everybody's buying what the other one has. And after all, we'll all be beautiful in our own eyesight and maybe even in Ivy's, because everybody will be. I think the tan color is the prettiest color of anybody, the Latin American people. So I wanted to show this too. Last year, Gwyneth Paltrow on the cover of People magazine was the most beautiful woman in the world. Again, blonde and blue-eyed. But I have to give credit to People magazine. This year, Lupita Nyong'o, from 12 years of slavery, is the most beautiful woman in the world. And what this shows is I can go from this to this and this to this, that both are beautiful. And I think that Lupita has the most beautiful skin in the world. It looks like velvet. And so I think that the world is attempting to change, hopefully, some of our mores and our norms and our method of thinking. But I emphasize the colorism issue, as you can see, is not just an issue in the black race in America. It is all over the world. Tell me, why does everyone strive when white is really the minority in the world, Dr. Greeson? People of pigmentation are the majority in the world.
Why do they strive?
To be more the color thing and the eye.
Well,
I just think I
think in every group of people seek status. And some people do it through various ways. There are different kind of sub-societies. In some sub-societies, the more tattoos you have, the more status you have, the more piercings you have. In other societies, it's coloration of skin. In other societies, it's what kind of car you drive or what kind of motorcycle you have. So, you know, all these sort of intersect, and some of these values get passed down by people you know or your parents, and they're just part of the way you see the world. And I don't think it's obviously not a conscious thing, but it just sort of happens from interacting with other people and taking on the attitudes that they have.
Now, it's got to be conscious, though, to go and do this plastic surgery. Don't you think, Dr. Greeson, on some of these people?
You know, they know they would prefer to be that way, but I don't think they think about why they want to be that way. They just have that preference. I want to look like this.
Like the lady the Octomom, who went and had all this plastic surgery, someone on Medicaid with all these children, had plastic surgery to look more like Angelina Jolie, when, I don't know if she realized, but Angelina Jolie had plastic surgery that looked like Angelina Jolie. So, you know, there's a lot of psychological things that go on when we have plastic surgery. Is some of it a lack of confidence in themselves? Because it's a lot more than celebrities.
Oh, absolutely.
My cousin lives in LA. She's had everything done.
Nobody really accepts themselves, you know, and I think that's been universally true. You know, Freud said we're the animal that finds ourselves unacceptable.
And don't you think women are insecure with our looks anyway? At any given point of any given day, we don't look as good as we. I know somebody told me, "Boy, you look good today." What do you mean? I didn't look good yesterday? You know, or boy, you look nice. What you got on? What? I didn't look good nice. And the other thing I had on. You know, women happen to be insecure. Don't you think?
And I think a lot of the media does that. Brings that insecurity out. You just held up 2 magazine covers.
Right.
And look at the contrast of what was beautiful last year to what's beautiful today.
But see, I think this is a good thing that, to me, that people is saying beauty comes in either, and it's finally done. When you see a woman that looks like this with a short afro, and but look at the eyes, look at the skin. Beautiful. I mean, you've seen it in 12 years of slavery. Did you see that?
Oh, yes.
Have you seen her picture, Dr. Greeson?
Yes.
Okay. And again, it shows that we need to realize that beauty comes in all shades. But when they make that laser surgery, if I thought it was safe to get my eyes blue, I'm gonna tell you, I think blue eyes are beautiful. I don't care who has them. I just think, because my daddy had blue eyes. So, when they perfect the laser, I would still be afraid, because eyesight is so important. But to fly and have an implant, because it's not legal to do it in America, really takes it a bit far to me. Would anybody like to leave some last words on what they would like to leave with people out here, Ivory? What would you tell if you had a son? You do have a son.
Yes.
What do you tell him about colorism?
I thought about that as well. Well, first of all, my daughter is married to a white guy, redhead.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what I've accepted is that she may not find anyone like me, but that doesn't mean she couldn't follow her heart.
Right.
So
okay, find anyone like you mean
a black
physically
man.
looking?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've accepted that she may go outside of what Dad sees.
Right.
And so what I will tell my son is follow your heart. Mm-hmm. Because I conformed and stuck to my color. Mm-hmm. I conformed, and I don't.
Okay, let me hear briefly. What would you like to say? Anything?
Basically the same thing. It's finding someone that you're compatible with and that your heart, you care as much about them as you do yourself.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Same thing. It's all about the attitude. What you see at night when you go to bed. What do you look in the mirror and see? Mm-hmm. It's not anybody else that can change that, just you.
And Dr. Greeson?
I'd say be aware of the issues. There are ways in which colorism and racism do intersect, but accept yourself for who you are.
Okay, I think that says it all. This is the beginning of a conversation that we'll be having here at Dianne Andrews in Black and White on the caste system and on colorism and on racism. So hopefully this has set a tone, and we'll be right back with my closing from Dianne Andrews in Black and White. Thank you. Welcome back to Dianne Andrews in Black and White. Everyone has seen my closes, and it's a ritual for me. When I was a little girl growing up in Rouge, Louisiana, a show came on every Sunday morning. And it said, if you light just one little candle, what a bright world this would be. And that's the way I've tried to live my life, and that's what this show is about, to try to help us see that between every issue of black and white, there are always shades of gray. We're not trying to change your mind, unless it happens, but what we're trying to do is give you information from people that live the life they live, and you learn from them. We've done several very powerful series in the last couple of weeks, Walking While Black 2 and 3. And we've also done Colorism, which is going to be a start of another series. I want to do something on the caste system, which says because I'm born poor, I'll stay poor. If I'm born rich, I'll die rich. In America, we don't have caste systems, is what we're known for around the world. That's why people come into America. You can wake up a janitor, but 2 years later, you can be a president of a company that you started. So always remember, go out, give your best, and do your best, and the best shall be yours. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Christmas holiday and a happy, happy New Year. Make your plans to be a better you, as I do every New Year. God bless you.